You. What's going on? What's going on? Let me know the team. Let me let the team know that we live, baby. What's going on? What's going on? We live in the building. Yeah, I mean, this Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, with the lost voice. For sure, man. What's going on, y'all? I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive day. Well, night, obviously. You know what I mean? I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk, of course. We got some things that we need to discuss for sure. And by the way, I don't know how the fuck I lost my voice. Don't know at all. But we still gonna make it do what it do anyway. You know what I mean? This don't change nothing. Shout out to my boy CJ Barker. He says hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button as soon as we come in. We got 5 people. Hit the like button, man. It is very much appreciated. My boy Shay is in the building. Lorenzo, what up? Money Man John. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? I hope everybody's night is going well. You feel what I'm saying? I just dropped my son off not too long ago, man. Feeling extremely blessed. I really can't complain. You know what I mean? My sickness is slowly but surely fading away. And I got the next 2 days off from work. So you already know I'm feeling sensational. You feel what I mean? Can't really, can't really complain. You know what I mean? My boy Stop Motion MMA is in the building. All right, y'all. We got 8 people in the building, man. Hit the like button as soon as you come in so we can get the algorithm on the up. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure everything is everything. Let me make sure my audio is correct. Everybody, everything is everything. Cool. Okay, cool. All right, so we live. Back at you with the boxing talk. Jay Brumfield, what's going on? He said all good vibes across the board. Yeah, man. I feel that. I feel that 1,000%. You know what I mean? But we had something dope happen earlier today, and that was the press conference between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, man. You could tell they've been going on a hell of a media run, man. And I guess that's the benefits of having the fight go on in New York. You know what I mean? I seen Ryan Garcia on the Breakfast Club early this morning, man. I checked out the interview. It was actually a pretty good interview. You know what I mean? I actually enjoyed the interview thoroughly. And I'm not the biggest Ryan Garcia fan. I think me and you both know that. But in terms of just answering the questions, just being open, honest, transparent, and things like that, man, it was a dope interview, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. And something smart that the Breakfast Club did was they brought the dude Ack on there for that balance. You know what I mean? Having somebody there that actually knows the sport of boxing, that's well informed. You know what I mean? It was cool to see. You know what I mean? Frequent flyer in the building. Mimi, what up? Chris, Chris in the building. I don't know how to say your last name, man. Doherty. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but regardless, shout out to Chris, #1 Packers gamer. What's going on? He said, I got Dev by split decision. That sounds like a close contest, my brother. Shay says, I still got Devin. Devin trying to sell the fight by saying Ryan said something about Muslims goofy. Well, I mean, Ryan Garcia says that he doesn't recollect him saying anything about Devin Haney's religion, but he apologized anyway. So that lets you know that it's a possibility that he may have said something. Because I think if he genuinely believed he didn't say anything, I don't think he would have apologized. You know what I mean? But regardless, man, they've been having a hell of a media run. You know what I mean? I seen Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia on ESPN on First Take. I don't know if I seen Devin Haney on the Breakfast Club, but I sure seen Ryan Garcia there. So that was dope. And they was talking that talk at the press conference, man. It was a pretty dope press conference. Um, Devin Haney was pretty like straightforward with with Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? Calling him a quitter and telling him that he's limited as a fighter and that he's the more skilled guy. He's matured more as a professional, which I have been saying myself. You know what I mean? I actually agree with Devin Haney on that point. I do think that Devin Haney has gotten better since the amateurs, and Ryan Garcia has gotten stronger since the amateurs and stuff like that. But in terms of who developed more as a professional, I'm leaning that more towards Devin Haney. You know what I mean? I think he's the more intelligent fighter, better ring IQ overall, just ring intelligence overall. I think that Devin Haney has the advantage in those departments. You know what I mean? And what I'm trying to say is they're building up the fight really well, man. I hope they continuously do this until April 20th, man. And if they're able to do so, um, they could do some great numbers. You know what I mean? They could definitely do some great numbers, man. Um, yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the fight. You feel me? Stop motion MMA says Dev versus Ryan does 460K on pay per view. That's actually not a bad number considering we're in the streaming era right now. You know what I mean? That's actually not a bad number. Mimi says the only disadvantage Haney has is power. I have him winning by unanimous decision though. As much as I like Ryan, he only has a puncher's chance at winning this fight. I mean, that's a valid point. You know what I mean? I think it's clear. I think it's pretty clear that based off of the KO ratio and I guess just the eye test, we both know that Ryan Garcia is the harder puncher. You know what I mean? He has fast hands as well, but Ryan Garcia definitely has the advantage in the power area, and I don't think Devin Haney will really dispute that. You know what I mean? I think that he's aware of Ryan Garcia having more power, but everything else I really feel like leans in Devin Haney's favor. I think that Devin Haney has the better movement. I think he has the better jab, overall boxing ability. I think he's the more athletic fighter, quicker, better defense. I just think what I'm gonna give Ryan Garcia is he has great hand speed, right? But it's usually single shots that Ryan Garcia punches in. You know what I mean? He's not really like a combination type puncher. He has great timing and he has concussive power, man. This is things that really have to be taken into consideration when you're looking over the attributes of Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? He has some good things on his side. And also, although Ryan Garcia has quit against Gervonta Davis for whatever reason. You know what I mean? You let him tell it. Um, Ryan Garcia is pretty. He could take a shot. You know what I mean? He's been hit with some big shots and has been able to stand up to it pretty well. Whether we talking about Duarte, Gervonta Davis, that first knockdown from Tank was a pretty vicious shot. He stood up to it real well, and it looked like his legs were still underneath him. So we seen him take a hard shot from Luke Campbell. Um, he's a pretty resilient dude in terms of durability and taking a punch. You know what I mean? Um, so those are things like Ryan Garcia has dog in him. We seen him face adversity with Luke Campbell. He got dropped. He came back and was able to stop his opponent within that same fight. So we can't really call out. We really can't count out Ryan Garcia. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Just looking at how the way they've been talking and everything like that, Ryan Garcia seems pretty confident going into this fight with Devin Haney. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's because he feels like Devin Haney can't hurt him. I don't know what the situation is, but it seemed like he was less sure of himself going into the Gervonta Davis fight. That's just me personally, with the rehydration clause and everything like that. But with Devin Haney, he has like this newfound confidence. It's almost as if he knows something that we don't know, or I don't know if he feels like in his heart he has the upper hand in Devin Haney somehow, but he seems pretty confident. Yeah, I'm not speaking on that situation, man. I spoke on that plenty of times. Yeah, I mean, if you want to figure that out, you're just gonna have to look through previous videos. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I'm not speaking on that situation no more. Shay says, to be honest, Ryan got more dog than Devin. Um, I don't think Devin Haney has ever been in a situation where he had to really show that dog. I mean, besides the Jorge Linares fight, but I think that Devin Haney has shown that he knows what to do when he's hurt in a situation. He knows how to survive. So that could be looked at as a great attribute of Devin Haney's as well. He knows how to tie up. You know what I mean? He knows how to get himself out of sticky situations, and he knows how to get through a hard round. You know what I mean? Because anybody else who was inexperienced or never been hurt before or something like that, they might have been in trouble against somebody like Jorge Linares. You know what I mean? But I don't think Devin Haney has really ever had to show his dog because he wins these fights strictly off of his intelligence. Um, there were times where I thought he hurt Regis Prograis throughout the fight. I thought he hurt him several times, but it was almost as if he couldn't like he refused to step on the gas. Like he was just content with where he was at. Meanwhile, dudes like Terrence Crawford, when they got somebody hurt, they'll do whatever they can to get them up out of there. Seemed like Devin Haney was just staying smart, smooth, and calculated the entire time. You know what I mean? Let me see. Shay says, "Who you got, Kid Austin or Abdullah Mason if they fight?" Man, I have no idea, man. I don't even know why people are really talking about that. Everybody knows Top Rank's not going to throw Abdullah Mason in that fight, and I think Golden Boy wouldn't put Kid Austin in that situation either. You know what I mean? So this is just all talk. We know this isn't going to unfold anytime soon. They're both in the building stages of their career. I'm not going to lie to you. However, I am more impressed with Abdullah Mason. You know what I mean? I think that he's a very talented kid. I think that he's going to be a problem in the 135-pound division. And I like Abdullah Mason more than Kid Austin, but I feel like both of them guys have a whole lot of proving to do before I could really give my final assessment on who beats who. You know what I mean? We still figuring these fighters out in a sense. You know what I mean? They looking good against the quality opponents they had. I mean, against the opposition that they have, but we won't know who they really are until they face somebody of quality. You feel me? So I really don't have an opinion on that. I think it's a waste of time to really even speak on it. You feel me? When fighting Loma, he was saying, "Daddy helped me in the corner." He did do good in the last rounds, but just day why he was talking a bit weird. Well, this is the thing. A trainer is supposed to give you instructions whenever you don't have something figured out. You know what I mean? The whole idea of a trainer, one of the things that a trainer is really good for is being your extra set of eyes. You know what I mean? So if there's a situation where a fighter doesn't know what to do in a situation, that's when the trainer is supposed to come in and provide their perspective. Also, there's a situation where a trainer may see a shot that's available or if they see like a punch that's available or something that the fighter is doing wrong, the coach has to be that extra set of eyes and bring that to the awareness of the fighter. Now, in that situation, it looked like Devin Haney just needed a little bit of advice on how to go about it because it seemed like Lomachenko was neutralizing parts of Devin Haney's game. And although Devin Haney is an intelligent fighter, he doesn't have all the answers. He's not a perfect fighter. Not everybody's a perfect fighter. Not everybody has the answers. That's why a good corner is necessary to give them the answers so they're able to execute that adjustment and go on to win the fight. You feel what I mean? So yeah, I don't think he was saying "Daddy help me." I think he was, and I don't think he was approaching it from a "Dad help me" perspective. He was talking to, he was approaching it as if the dude is being Bill Haney is his trainer, so he's looking at it like trainer. What can I do to make this adjustment? You know what I mean? That's how I look at it personally. Shakur looks soft for trying to make Kid Austin fight Mason. He trying to fight you. You trying to set your homeboy up. Yeah, you know what I mean. I think what that is right there is Shakur Stevenson trying to young bull Kid Austin. You feel what I mean? That's what it's looking like. Like usually, um, you ever heard somebody be like, "Yo," they'll point out somebody and be like, "Yo, handle my light work." That's pretty much um, that's pretty much what the situation is. You know what I mean? He looking at Kid Austin like he light work, like it's a waste of time. So let me get a young boy that's on your level to handle you. You know what I mean? Because you're not worthy of stepping up to the plate against me. That's how I'm looking at it from Shakur Stevenson's perspective. You know what I mean? But it is kind of corny. Like if he's calling you out, then either you disregard him, either you disregard him, or you take on the challenge. You know what I'm saying? So It is what it is. Shakur said he will give him a title shot if he wins. Yeah, yeah, I heard that. It was a pretty similar situation of what Floyd Mayweather did to Triple G. I know there was a point in time where Triple G was calling out Floyd Mayweather for a fight, and Floyd Mayweather was like, "Yo, if you beat Andre Ward, I'll fight you." You know what I'm saying? And there wasn't really a response after that. So it's a pretty similar situation. Solis says, "Yo, Mazuma, I think Benavidez beats Canelo, but Canelo will put a dehydration clause. Will that affect the performance of David?" I mean, I don't even know if David Benavidez will even accept the rehydration clause. In all honesty, David Benavidez is a huge 168-pound fighter, hence why he's moving up to light heavyweight. You see what I mean? So I don't even think that he'll be able to do that. You know what I mean? I don't think that he'll be able to participate in a rehydration clause. And if he were, it would definitely affect his performance because David Benavidez is somebody who rehydrates pretty well 24 hours after the fight and pretty much uses that to his advantage against his opponents, typically being the bigger guy in most of his fights. You know what I mean? So I think it'll definitely affect his performance, just like it affects a lot of guys who boil down to make their weight classes. And um, hopefully that's not a situation that happens. Hopefully Canelo Alvarez takes on the challenge against David Benavidez without having any of that weird shit going on, whether it's a catch weight or a rehydration clause. Mazuma, did you peep at the press conference today? Haney's future opponents, he had mentioned Barrios at 147, but never mentioned anything about Boots. Yeah, yeah, I'm very aware of that. And that's obviously for a reason. I think that they respect Boots and they know what he's capable of doing. And I don't think they want to deal with that type of fighter. You know what I mean? That's not something that they really want to deal with. That's a tough matchup for them because there's literally nothing that Devin Haney does better than Jaron Ennis, in my opinion. You know what I mean? He uses his jab more, but in terms of who has the better jab, I mean, I think Jaron Ennis's jab is just as good as his. I think Jaron Ennis is far more powerful, physically stronger. I think he's faster than Devin Haney. You know, he's more explosive. I think he's just as intelligent, if not more. Um, he's a more accurate puncher, in my opinion. Better finisher, clearly. I just think there's nothing that Devin Haney does better than Jaron Ennis, and I think that him and his team know that, and I think that's why they're calling out the low hanging fruit of the welterweight division, and not the elite like Terrence Crawford or Jaron Ennis. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, bro. I don't doubt. I don't knock them for not wanting to fight Jaron Ennis. You know what I mean? I don't think they'll completely uh, campaign for that division until Jaron Ennis moves up. And that's just my opinion on the whole situation. You feel me? Boots will definitely take him out, Shay. That's a fact. I think the Boots will stop Devin Haney if they were to ever fight. Which I think that they're very aware of Jaron Ennis's abilities, hence why they're not calling him out at all. There's not many people at all that are calling out um, Jaron Ennis. You feel me? Teach said Boots versus Morrell, if they were in the same weight class, who you got? So you asking me to take Jaron Ennis' skill set, his abilities, who he is as a fighter, and put him in a 168-pound body against David Morrell? Um, I think Jaron Ennis got more tools than David Morrell. From what I've seen with David Morrell so far, he's a come forward, aggressive fighter who likes to drop bombs. I think that strategy wouldn't work against somebody like Jaron Ennis, who has a great jab. You know what I mean? Elusive as hell. Can make you miss, make you pay. You know what I mean? And has some devastating power. Boots is one of the best finishers in the sport of boxing, man, right now. A lot of people don't really look at him as like a power puncher. I don't know why, because his knockout ratio is incredibly high. And I think that Boots is the more skilled fighter than David Morrell. That's just me. That's and David Morrell is an extremely skilled fighter, but that's how high I hold Jaron Ennis. You know what I mean? I just think that he hasn't been granted the opportunities yet to really showcase how great he is. Because a lot of people are looking at him as a high risk, low reward type of fighter right now. You know what I mean? We heard Keith Thurman say it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't hold David Morrell as highly as I hold up Jaron Ennis. Maybe because it's because I'm biased or I've helped him out in certain training camps and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe that could be why. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's human nature to be biased. You feel me? There's people that come on here and be like, "Oh, I'm unbiased." Bro, everybody's biased in a way, to an extent. You feel me? They're just people that are more capable of being objective than others. But I'm here to tell you, Jaron Ennis is one of my favorite fighters active right now. And I would choose him over a good percentage of people in boxing right now. You feel me? Jay Brumfield said Boots is the closest fighter to Roy Jones. Yeah, in terms of athleticism and being flashy and fast hands, power. What I mean, having all of that athleticism, just gifted overall as a fighter. Yeah, Boots is the closest thing to Roy Jones. But the thing with Boots is, I think that he has fundamentals in his within his arsenal. I think that Roy Jones lacked a lot of fundamentals in his arsenal, which is why he started to struggle later on in his career because once his reflexes and stuff like that started to disappear as he continued to age, he wasn't as effective. I think that if Boots were to lose his athleticism, I still think that he has the fundamentals to back him. Um, so I think that he has a little bit more in his toolbox than a Roy Jones. You know what I mean? That's just me personally. But Roy Jones is one of the greatest ever. I think that if he would have retired at one particular time, I think if he would have retired after the John Ruiz fight, I think that he would be considered the greatest ever, right along with Sugar Ray Robinson. But unfortunately, he continued to step on the gas and he had to pay the price for it. You know what I mean? There's only you can only drive so far before that fucking check engine light come on. You feel me? So that's what happened with Roy. Unfortunately, he didn't close out his career how he should have. But you can't tell somebody when to retire, man. Fighters fight. Ray Jones still trying to rumble to this day. It's crazy, but it's true. So yeah, man. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia had that press conference, and it was a pretty dope one. You know what I mean? I like how Henry Garcia, Ryan Garcia's dad, had gotten involved in the press conference and started talking his talk back to um, Bill Haney. Bill Haney liked to talk. He liked to build up fights. He likes to promote fights. So it was entertainment. It was a lot. It was some good entertainment over there, man. I hope they continue to build up the fight this way. uh, I hope they continue to build up the fight this way, man, because if they continue to go about it like this, man, hopefully get some streamers and influencers involved with this fight and stuff like that. I think this could really um, bring boxing to the forefront and get a lot of people tuned in with this fight. You know what I mean? I hope they just continue to do this. Stop motion MMA. Roy got to have the saddest ending in boxing. He definitely got one of them. He definitely got one of them. For sure. I can name a few more that was more sad, but in terms of like just career, just doing a complete 180, Roy Jones is one of them. Unfortunately. A Singh says Mazuma. I remember a week or two ago we were talking about Boots in the gym and how he was the best fighter you've ever seen. How much did we see against Villa in that fight? He looked phenomenal against Villa, man. But I'm gonna tell you this: anybody who fights like Romain Villa, Boots is gonna do that to him every time. That style will not be effective against somebody like Jaron Ennis. Coming forward and had that flat-footed come forward style, you know what I mean? Just trying to rough up somebody. Uh Jaron Ennis is gonna take you apart every time. Every time. You know what I'm saying? So um you saw some good things with Jaron Ennis that night, but I think that he'll showcase even more skills and things that we never seen before if you put him in there against somebody elite. You know what I'm saying? Like a Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? Like a Terrence Crawford, like a Earl Spence. I think that we'll see a side of Boots that we've never seen before. And I still say this to this day. Breadman told you himself. Caleb Plant trainer, fellow trainer from Philadelphia. Boots is the best fighter I've ever seen in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like best fighter I've ever seen in the gym. He just looks like it's like when you go on 2K and you turn all them game sliders up to 100, man. That's who Boots is. That's who Boots is in the ring. You feel me? Um, he's absolutely phenomenal, man. I never seen nobody like him. And I've seen some talented fighters in the gym, bro. I've been in the gym with world champions, all-time greats, bro. I done been in the same gym as Bernard Hopkins, Julian Williams, um, bro. I've been around Stephen Fulton, like all these dudes, bro. I done been around champions, Danny Garcia. I done been around all of them. I done seen them train. I seen them put the work in. But I'm telling you, I never seen nobody like Jerron Ennis, bro. And I put that shit on my son. You feel me? And what people are seeing now, what people seen in the Romain Villa fight, I seen 5, 6 years before that. Anybody that's from Philadelphia and that's actually a part of the boxing scene in Philadelphia that trains fighters, is a fighter, manager, promoter, whatever, you've been hearing about Jerron Ennis for well over a decade already. And what's crazy is he had two brothers that were extremely similar to him, Farah Ennis and Pooh Ennis. You feel me? They were absolutely insane, just like Jerron. But what happened was, I mean, they had got caught up in the streets and just, you know, just not following the lifestyle of a fighter. You know what I mean? They had a lot of fun coming up, and they ended up just getting stepping away from the sport overall. But Farah and Pooh were sensational fighters as well, man. Bozy Ennis had created 3 fighters out of his 3 sons, and they were all monsters. You could look up Jerron Ennis's brother, Pooh Ennis, sparring Canelo Alvarez right there on Ellie Sekbag's channel. And you'll see that Pooh Ennis was giving Canelo gas. You know what I mean? And Jerron Ennis happens to be the best one out of all 3 of them because he's a combination of both of his brothers and his father. And but he remained focused until he got that world title, and he's still grinding like he ain't got nothing going on. You know what I mean? Not cutting no corners or anything like that. Says, I love your takes on boxing. Keep up the great work. Yo, Don, I appreciate that very much, man. Thank you. You know what I mean? Bro, for the whole day, I'm hearing people didn't like the press conference. I enjoyed it. Bill Haney made it entertaining. Yeah, I like the press conference too. I do think that it could have been better though. I do think that they were trying to rush the whole press conference for some reason. I see Oscar De La Hoya was like, they didn't even do like a Q&A. Oscar De La Hoya was like, yeah, let's do the face off. Like he didn't want to be there no more or something, or like he didn't want to follow through with the rest of the press conference. But then the guy from the zone, I forgot his name, was like, we're going to do a Q&A before the face-off. And then they was able to get some questions, but I feel like the questions the media was asking wasn't anything that was like spicing something up. You know what I mean? They should have asked questions like, yo, Ryan said he's going to do this to you. What you think about that? Or who do you think is the more skilled fighter? Like, just throw a bone out there to just get an argument started. You know what I mean? I think that I don't know. I don't know if I felt like it was rushed. I don't know exactly what it was, but the press conference could have been better. But they had their moments. You know what I mean? Bill Haney talked this talk. Henry Garcia talked this talk. Devin and um, Devin and Ryan went back and forth. Um, Ryan had a little entrance when he had a couple bitches like throwing rose petals on the ground while he walked into his throne and shit like that. They had his little moments. Bernard Hopkins and Ryan squashed the beef in front of everybody. So I mean, I guess it was an okay one. I'll tell you this: I've seen far worse press conferences than that one. I'm gonna just say that. You know what I mean? Roy trying to fight Tommy Fury. Man, I don't know what that's about, man. I don't know if Roy need a check or what, but you know what I mean, they need to get him away from boxing, period. Just train fighters and that's it, man. You don't need to be in no exhibitions or any fights. Nobody wants to see that no more. Who you got? Prime Tip Bradley or Jerron Ennis? I got Jerron Ennis. Tim Bradley had a lot of will. He was in great shape, great conditioning. And it was an absolute dog. But Jerron Ennis gives you that and everything else. Tim Bradley is the more experienced guy. He had a better resume so far than Jerron Ennis. Uh, he has a better resume throughout his career than what Jerron Ennis has currently. But I think Jerron Ennis will punish Tim Bradley. That's what I think. If he let Ruslan Provodnikov put hands on him, you already know Jerron Ennis going to do it. They need to hire instigating some instigating ass ninjas for the press. They just need to hire me. I'd have got that man. Listen, I'd have had Henry and Bill Haney rumbling on that stage. Trust me, I know how to get some shit started. For sure, I did that shit all throughout middle school and all that. I could get some shit started at the gym for sure. You already know I know how to get shit going. I mean, they'd have threw me a couple dollars, I'd have did it. You know what I mean? Anonymous says, "This a troll." What you talking about? You talking about my boy? I don't think Money. I don't know if you're referring to Money Man John, but nah, Money Man John not a troll. But yeah, man. So it was a pretty dope press conference. You know what I mean? Was it the best? No, I've seen better ones. I've seen better trash talk or whatever. You know what I mean? And no, Money Man John, cool. He been around before. He been a little inactive, but he been around before. Um, so something that Devin Haney said that I noticed was he said that Ryan Garcia's breath smelled like alcohol. Now I don't know if he was just saying that or capping or whatever the situation is, but if that's the case, it's not looking so good for Ryan, man. Ryan Garcia openly admitted to gambling, drinking, partying, doing all that stuff after the Javante Davis loss. So who's to say that he's not capable of doing that right now? You know what I mean? It's currently the end of February, about to be March. You know what I mean? They're not fighting to the end of April, so they probably have 8 weeks of some change right now to get shit going. So who's to say Ryan Garcia isn't enjoying himself right now, and participating in some drinking? You feel me? And I don't think Devin Haney would lie about something like that. I don't think he would just say that just to get some clicks or, you know what I mean, get some people to turn against Ryan. I honestly believe that Ryan Garcia might have had a drink or two before he went up there. You feel what I mean? I do think that Ryan Garcia do get into some stuff behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Based off of the things that I was seeing. You feel me? Ryan Garcia, he liked to party. I mean, he liked to drink. He tell you that. He liked to gamble. That's his thing. You know what I mean? He preaching about Jesus and, the Lord being his savior. Meanwhile, he on a plane playing cards and shit, playing spades. I'm like, this dude crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy, Chris, CJ Gutierrez. He said, keep up the good work. 2K sub soon. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Thank you very much, man. Mimi says, I'm worried for Ryan. He need to focus and stay in the gym and stay away from the alcohol. Well, that's easier said than done. You know what I mean? Somebody like Ryan Garcia, who probably has a lot of things going on, maybe that's his way to decompress. You know what I mean? I ain't say nothing was wrong with playing spades, Jibo. I ain't say that at all. I'm just saying that's what he like to get into. That's his lifestyle. You know what I mean? We seen it on the All Access episode with Javante. You feel me? I ain't say nothing wrong with playing spades. I don't play cards myself, but I know plenty of people that do. That's just Ryan Garcia lifestyle. That's what he like to get into. Anonymous said Ryan sniffed more lines than a barcode. That's crazy. That's nuts. But Ryan Garcia, man, I don't know how I feel about this dude, man. Like I already know I'm not a fan of him. That's pretty clear. But like I don't know, man. It's like he's like a child, bro. Like he's so easily manipulative. Like he's so easy to manipulate, to control, to sway the other way. You know what I mean? Because we seen what Floyd Mayweather and them been doing. They've been controlling Devin Haney as if they the puppet master. You know what I mean? Just controlling them. Because the first time they were able to do that was when they was able to convince him to step away from the Devin Haney negotiations. Moving on from that, as soon as they announced the fight was in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Leonard Ellaby and all of them got the run in their mouth, and Gervonta got the run in their mouth. So this is a part of Floyd Mayweather's camp. As soon as Ryan Garcia peeped that, They were talking shit, making it seem like he wasn't a star because he was fighting in New York and not Vegas. All of a sudden, he was like, "No, this is a Las Vegas fight." So he did that just to like silence the doubt that was coming from Mayweather's camp. You know what I mean? So it don't really take much to really get in Ryan Garcia's head and make him think about um, doing other things. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. And when people usually do that, when they're swayed that easily, is because they're not confident in themselves or what they got going on. That's typically what I be peeping. If somebody is so easily, it's so easy to um flip flop, go from one side to the other, is because they unsure of themselves or they unsure of that situation. And I just think that's who Ryan Garcia is. I think that a lot of the shit he be doing is just a big bluff, man. I think that when he get to yelling and he get to talking all crazy, bro, I think he's doing that. I think that's him overcompensating, trying to play like he's like this tough guy or he's really about that life. Like, Ryan, come on, man. You look for confidence and you look for you find confidence through social media. You know what I mean? You allow social media to boost your ego. You feel me? That's where you get your confidence from. You don't get your confidence from your training or anything like that. How can you trust Ryan Garcia in the whole build up to the Gervonta Davis fight? He's telling you how he's gonna knock out Gervonta in 2 rounds and things like that. He's talking all crazy and how um he's gonna do this and that to Tank, and all he's gonna need is a left hook for Tank. And then after the fight, he was like, I knew I was gonna lose the whole time. I knew I was gonna lose the whole time. So, that's who, like, him admitting that right there, that lets you know that he has them doubts within himself, that he thinks about losing quite often. That's crazy. I just went like this and that shit came up. They be watching me, bro. But anyway, Ryan Garcia is somebody who plays like he's a confident dude or that he's confident in his abilities, but his actions show otherwise. You know what I mean? That's just what I pick up from guys like Ryan Garcia. And I think that's going to be I think that's going to play a factor in the Devin Haney fight. You feel me? Um, I think Devin Haney, although, you know what I mean, he's not the best trash talker and stuff like that. You can tell he's really confident in himself and his abilities just based off of the chances that he's taking. But we've been seeing it since he became undisputed. All the chances he's been taking, going over to Australia when they didn't allow his dad to go to Australia for a temporary time. He went over there with his godfather. You know what I mean? Zab Judah's father is the coach and went over there and was gonna win by any means necessary. He went over there essentially basically by himself without his trainer. Um, he took a shitty deal with Tyree that included a rematch clause. Then he went back to Australia, did it again. You feel what I mean? Goes up to 140 and faces one of the big dogs right away where he could have easily took a tune-up. Went over there and faced Regis Prograis. Nobody ever made Regis Prograis look that bad before. You feel what I mean? Not even Josh Taylor was able to do that. And he was the best man at 140 at one point. You know what I mean? He goes up first fight at 140 and dominates one of the top guys who was a two-time world champion at 140. You know what I mean? So you can tell that Devin Haney is truly confident in himself. You can tell how the way he talks that he feels like there's nothing Ryan Garcia could do that could make him the winner that night against him. You know what I mean? He feels like it's almost as if Devin Haney feels like Ryan Garcia is going to be easy work. You know what I mean? He keep talking about the left hand and stuff like that. Keep talking about the left hook and stuff like that. He said that he gonna take it away from him. So we just go ahead to wait and see what's gonna go on, man. Anonymous says Tank was right. Ryan is an Instagram fighter. That's one of the realest things Gervonta Davis has ever said. Gervonta Davis in the lead up to that fight with Ryan Garcia, you could tell that Gervonta was studying that man down to like he had him down packed, bro. He knew everything about Ryan Garcia, knew what his training camps was like. He told y'all about the injury before Ryan even announced it. You know what I mean? Knew everything about him, how the way what shots he preferred to throw, where to where he would target those shots. Because I remember there was at a press conference and Gervonta was like, I think Ryan Garcia said I might break your jaw with my left hook or something. He said something like that. He said, "You don't hit the jaw, you hit the temple." And I was like, a lot of people overlooked that one interaction right there, but I was like, okay. I was like, okay. I was like, okay. He really watching Ryan because when you watch a lot of his knockouts and stuff like that, he does typically hit people on the temple with shots. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good observation from Javante. That just lets you know he was locked in on that fight. You know what I mean? He already had a game plan in effect. He knew what to look out for. You know what I mean? How high to hold up his hands and stuff like that, bro. He had Ryan's card that night. There was nothing Ryan was gonna be able to do that night, whether he was injured or not. Stop motion said, "What's the worst press conference you ever seen?" Well, I can't point out like an individual one, but the most boring press conferences are the ones obviously that the promoters and the managers or whatever the hell just talk the whole time, and you know what I mean, the fighters just sit there all quiet or don't really say anything, and they just keep it calm and cordial. They don't really like to stir up anything. Like that's what I consider the worst press conferences. You feel what I mean? When nobody's really there showing personality or anything, they just sitting there and they only there for real because they obligated to. So those are typically the worst press conferences where nobody really saying shit, or they just answer like these media members' questions with like one or two words. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I typically find to be the worst press conferences. Ryan did have a mole in his kid, frequent flyer. That's a fact. If Ryan keep losing, he gonna start losing his fan base and followers. Yeah, there was a question that I believe Charlemagne, the guy that asked him on Breakfast Club, he was like, or was it? I think it was DJ Envy. It was one of them that asked like, "Yo, if you take a L in this fight, do you think that this will like set back your career?" And Ryan Garcia was like, "No, man. Like Pacquiao had like 8 losses, then got knocked out cold, and he still was able to make the biggest fights happen and still make good paydays and stuff like that." Which is a great point, but um the reason why Manny Pacquiao was able to do that um, wasn't because like he was able to do that because his fan base was amazing. Like he had the craziest fan base. Then on top of that, they wanted him to fight Mayweather so bad that they were willing to look past the couple losses that he had endured just so he could fight Floyd Mayweather. They still believe, even after his losses, that he had what it took to beat Floyd. So that helped him a lot as well. You know what I'm saying? So um, I don't know. Manny Pacquiao is in a different stratosphere in terms of popularity and just having that hardcore following in comparison to Ryan Garcia, which a lot of his fans are like fucking kids and TikTokers and stuff like that. People who not even really boxing fans, social media people. Ryan Dev or Sue Keefe, which was the best presser? I'm gonna say Ryan Dev because Tim Zoo cannot talk shit to save his life, and Keith Thurman was Keith Thurman was like being cringe. Like he was trying so hard to be funny and just, you know what I mean, say some quotable shit that he just sounded corny as hell. Like Keith Thurman really is square. You know what I mean? He funny sometimes, but for the most part, that man just be yapping. I mean, he just be chatting. Stop motion says the difference is Pac-Man had a whole country behind him. Garcia got 13-year-old kids and streamers. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. And yeah, Pagai, I mean, he's a lot more decorated than Ryan ever was. Ryan has yet to win a world champion. Meanwhile, Manny conquered 8 divisions. You know what I mean? Which nobody has been able to do till this day. The one who got closest to it was like Oscar De La Hoya and Amanda Serrano. Besides that, nobody has been able to touch that record. And in all honesty, I don't think anybody will ever touch that record. It's like the Wilfred Benitez, youngest world champion, 17. I don't think anybody will ever break that. You know what I mean? So Manny Pacquiao definitely solidified his legacy as an all-time great with that feat right there. You feel me? He said, "Be safe and successful. Salute to the Mazuma Nation." Yo, Tesla, I appreciate that very much, man. I'll be seeing you in the comments, showing me love and stuff like that, even on other channels, man. Salute to you and yours, man. I appreciate you very much. You know what I mean? Manny is a lot more skilled and decorated than Ryan, though. That's a fact. I never disputed that at all. But that was the example that Ryan Garcia brought to the table. And speaking about can he bounce back from this loss? If he were to lose again, will he be able to bounce back? He was like, yeah, I was able to, and then providing an example of somebody who was able to. Which I mean, it's a solid point, I guess, but um, more context needed to be added in that situation. Like Manny Pacquiao was able to bounce back from the losses because of all the things he was able to accomplish in his career. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia has only been in one big fight in his entire career, and in that fight, he quit. You know what I'm saying? So if he were to go up in his second biggest fight of his career and lose that one, Ryan Garcia is going to start to look like he's not of the elite, and that in his biggest fights he's came up short. You know what I mean? So it's not really going to look good, and maybe his stock will diminish if he were to lose to Devin Haney, which I think is very possible. I think that is what is going to happen. Carlos Pardo the third, salute my boy. Shouts out Mazuma Nation. Yo, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you, man. I remember the DM you sent me. Thank you very much. Shout out to CP3. You know what I mean? Carlos Pardo the third for stopping by and showing the nation some love. You know what I'm saying? Stop motion MMA. He said, yo, I paid good money to see Pac-Man beat the dog shit out of Ryan. Send them out on a stretcher. But Manny Pacquiao, unfortunately, is older now. You know what I mean? So maybe he's not going to be capable of doing that like he would have back in his heyday. But that would be dope to see. You know what I mean? That would be dope to see. Has the undercard for Haney and Garcia been released? I haven't seen anything about that. I haven't seen anything about that, but you should expect to see some Golden Boy fighters on the undercard. You feel what I mean? And look forward to seeing some DHP fighters on there as well. You know, Devin got some fighters that's on his undercard, and with Eddie Hearn being in the mix as well. Be prepared to see some matchroom fighters. Yo, somebody block this dude, man. Get him up out of here. We don't do none of that. Okay, Stop Motion says Arnold Barbosa's on the undercard. Yeah, that's a Golden Boy fighter. I'm not surprised at all. And Arnold Barbosa may call out the winner if he were to come out victorious on that undercard. Wouldn't be surprised at all. That's something that Arnold Barbosa should be making his business to do. Winning in a great fashion, in a dominant fashion, and then calling out the winner of Haney and uh, Ryan. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So let's transition on. You know what I mean? Let's transition on to the next topic that's in this title, and that's who will Canelo next opponent be? You know what I mean? Because there's been a lot of speculation in terms of what Canelo Alvarez is going to do next, man. I was on Claymore Rain channel earlier today, and I was just talking about how there's been so many different reports lately as to what Canelo Alvarez is gonna do. You know what I mean? From the very beginning, they were talking about that. Let's go all the way back. After the Jamel Charlo win, like immediately after the Charlo win, um, he had went on. They had these little rumors coming out saying that he might fight Carlos Adames, Terrence Crawford. Um, um, they also mentioned Jamal Charlo. You know what I mean? Jaime Munguia, and a very uh very small amount of people were saying David Benavidez as well, which we all knew that was BS. You know what I mean? But that's the names that they were mentioning. Now, since then, you know what I mean, he has split from the PBC due to the fact that I guess he wanted a bigger amount of money to go up against Jamal Charlo. And I think PBC had, according to these reports, PBC said that they were willing to pay him the guarantee of 35 million for Jamal Charlo, but only under the condition that he'll fight David Benavidez next in September. According to that same report that I was reading up on, they didn't discuss the possibility of facing David Benavidez next, hence why they split. You know what I mean? This is all according to Dan Rayfield, I believe. So he pretty much got out of the deal because Canelo already had like a play set up in his head on exactly what he was gonna do. And there was rumors saying that he was gonna fight Jamal, and at one particular time he was gonna fight Earl if he were to come out successful against Bud. You feel me? But it doesn't seem like that was gonna happen. Obviously, Earl had been defeated, and Jamal Charlo. I think PBC understood that that wouldn't be a big money fight, and if they were gonna pay Canelo Alvarez an upwards of $35 million, they knew that they weren't gonna be able to get that money back or at least make a profit from that bout. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, all right, we'll take this loss for this fight with Jamal, but only under the condition that you face Benavidez next, because that fight will be huge, and there's a good chance that they'll be able to profit off of that and they'll make their money back. You know what I'm saying? They'll recoup from that loss and then come back with some money in their pocket. But Canelo Alvarez didn't seem like he was with it. You know what I mean? So he walked away from the PBC. Um, it seems like he's back over with Eddie Hearn in the zone. And according to the reports that I have been reading, although there's multiple conflicting reports that's uh you know that's out here to read, it seems like Canelo Alvarez is very interested in fighting Edgar Berlanga. You know what I'm saying? That was a fight that I thought, in all honesty, Canelo Alvarez would have just ignored, but it seems like that's a very possible option at this point in time. But according to the same report that I was reading, the zone wants him to fight Jaime Munguia May 4th. But it seems like Canelo Alvarez wants to fight Edgar Berlanga May 4th. So I don't know, man. It seems like they got this little conflict that they're trying to resolve right now so they could all be on the same page. But I have no idea what's going on, bro. I really cannot answer what the fuck is going on. I don't know what Canelo wants. It just seems like Canelo Alvarez doesn't really want to take uh these risky fights anymore, man. I think he just wants to go out. He wants to ride off into the sunset, man, on top. You know what I mean? He will do that by any means necessary, even if that includes avoiding certain fighters that the fans may want him to see, or if you I don't know, man. I don't know. It just seems like he wants to get the biggest bags for the smallest amount of risk possible. That's what it looks like. The fact that he was so adamant of fighting Jamal Charlo just gave me all the reassurance I needed going into that. Just thinking that he didn't want any smoke at all, man. Just seeing that that he was so convinced on fighting Jamal Charlo, even though he knew that Jamal Charlo wasn't focused. You know what I mean? He's still dealing with his mental health issues and things like that. The fact that he was um, thinking about he was so hell bent on fighting Jamal, and then on top of that, not only did he want to fight Jamal that's on the decline, but he wanted a substantial amount of money for it. It just lets you know that, bro, Canelo's not really hell bent on fighting the best competition. He's not hell bent on taking the biggest risk or proving that he's great. In his head, he already feels like he's great. So because he feels that way, you know what I mean? He feels like he don't got nothing to prove, and that he could pretty much fight whoever the hell he wants now until he retires. He told you he got 5 years left on his career. So I look forward to seeing what Canelo Alvarez does next, but I think that David Benavidez is nowhere near the plans. And I think David Benavidez and his team understands that, hence why they're moving up to 175 right now. You feel me? So I don't know, man. Shout out to David Benavidez for going on and not waiting and just doing his own thing. But as of right now, Canelo's next opponent seems to be Edgar Berlanga. So Edgar Berlanga has been calling out Canelo Alvarez for a good amount of time now. It seems like that fight will actually manifest. Unfortunately, unfortunately, you feel me? Um, Anonymous says he better not duck Morel when the time comes. I've never even heard Canelo mention Morel ever. You feel what I mean? And I think that Morel is another one of those fighters that Canelo looks at as a huge risk. You feel what I mean? And he's not gonna touch that fight neither, man. Morel is a young kid on the come up right now, destroying everything in his path. And they've been moving him pretty quickly, man. They've been accelerating. That boy career done been on the acceleration program. You know what I mean? So I think that Canelo and his team are aware of what they can and cannot handle. And I think that that's how they look at Benavidez and guys like Morel. Like, Nah, man, we ain't dealing with that. You know what I mean? We went through that a lot during the beginning of our career when we fought Trout and Lara and stuff like that. We not dealing with them guys no more. So it just seems like Canelo Alvarez is going to keep racking up these wins against smaller guys. You know what I mean? Continuing to move them up in weight or taking inexperienced green guys and just taking advantage of them. You know what I mean? If he doesn't fight David Benavidez, he's a major duck, steroid king. I mean, we all know he tested positive for performance enhancement drugs. You feel me? And he didn't really receive any type of punishment behind it. They gave him like a 6 month suspension. I'm like, bro, he fight like every 6 months anyway. What type of punishment is that? But it is what it is, man. Canelo Alvarez is the same dude who pretty much had to be stripped of his title to be motivated to fight Triple G. Because at one point in time, he didn't want no smoke with Triple G. They stripped him of his title. That got him angry and got him motivated. You know what I mean? That shit touched his pride. So that put him in a position where he had to face Triple G. You know what I mean? Canelo Alvarez is one of them dudes that you need to touch his pride in order for him to get up and want to fight you. I remember when Canelo Alvarez had just won a fight and he was at a post-fight press conference. Landy Law went up to him and was like, yo, man, like, congratulations on your win and stuff like that. But when can me and you rumble? You know what I mean? And Canelo felt extremely disrespected by that, and he forced Golden Boy to make the fight happen. With Triple G, you had to he had to get stripped of his title to get that battery in his back to motivate him to fight Triple G. You know what I mean? So, just based off of the history, man, it just seems like if Benavidez wants to get that fight or anybody want to get that fight with Canelo, you gotta find a way to make him want to fight you. You feel me? Whether that's disrespecting him publicly or putting him on blast, embarrassing him, you got to do something to strike the chord with that man. It's almost like you got to piss him off. You got to twist his arm for him to do something. Because, like I said, Canelo is the type of dude that he likes to move to the beat of his own drum. He don't like having nobody. He doesn't like having authority figures or somebody telling him what to do. And that goes for sanctioning bodies, promoters, networks, whatever. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Stop motion MMA says Saturday can't come soon enough. I can't wait for Ford to dominate that Uzbekistan dude. I'm looking forward to that too, man, because Raymond Ford, he sparred at my gym before. A sensational fighter, bro. Could fight his ass off. Very gifted fighter. He definitely got some great qualities about himself, and he's had some sensational performances. A little inconsistent for the most part. You know what I mean? Sometimes he look good, sometimes he don't. Pause. But it seems like he's extremely motivated for this fight, man. He went out and was training with Shakur Stevenson, so I know he got some quality work. He's been really locked in, really locked in. So I'm looking forward to seeing him win that world title. And he is from Camden, which is only I could literally go down one block, take the bridge, and I'm in Camden in 8 to 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So we embrace him as a Philly fighter, man. I think his trainer, Coach Reg, is a Philly trainer. You know what I'm saying? So that'll definitely be a W in our books, and we'll embrace him as such. If he comes out with the victory, you know what I mean? So shout out to Raymond Ford. Best of luck to him, and I hope that he puts on the performance necessary to defeat that Bruce Lee dude, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, I mean, so there's that, man. But all right, man. This is pretty much my live for the day, man. I appreciate everybody that was tuned in. That's my hour for the night, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? I can see it in my eyes. I'm still sick. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to weather the storm right now and just stay active for y'all because y'all deserve it. You feel what I mean? I'll definitely be back with some more videos in the morning. You know what I mean? Along with some shorts as well, man. Shout out to Mazuma TV Clips. You know what I mean, for doing his thing with the videos and really just pushing my content out there for everybody to see. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, Texas 16, Gbo, OG Rugrat. You know what I mean? He says Canelo might as well retire if he thinks he's accomplished everything in boxing and fight at exhibition if he wants to duck real smoke. Yeah, Paulie Malignaggi made a good point. He said that Canelo is just gonna fight whoever the hell he wants and just give up them belts so the real hungry people could go after super middleweight supremacy. You know what I mean? Which is actually a pretty good point. And I actually rock behind that point 100%. But shout out to Nick, shout out to the mob, man. I hope y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'm out of here, man. Peace.